Spooky vision. Hey, Brandon, what's up, dude? I did not see you there. Sending notifications now. Do 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 do. Say one more thing, one more thing. Alright. Woohoo! Hey, Barricade, what's up, dude? Thanks for stopping by. I'm about to get started. Let's put the stuff up. Alright, here we go. A unique horror adventure. Your game will be saved automatically at current points. However, we recommend you put aside an hour and a half and complete home in a single setting. Yes, you can finish this game in a single setting. It's pretty much exploring, backtracing what events that just happened, and the urgency of knowing that you're being followed at any moment. Turn up the volume. Yeah, turn up the volume for this is pretty good to do it with. Turn the lights off. Yep. Check and check. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Ah, oh, my head. Where am I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet. A flashlight. Or flashlight. Yeah. Alright. What is that? That house. Where was I? Hey, Megan. Got him. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. Ooh, spooky. There, you know what? That was Opal. That was Opal. She ran away. Gotta go find her. Aw, damn it. The roof is leaking. Computer? The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but... Did I open the door? Let's open the drawer. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. It looked like a store of some kind. Where did this look so familiar? Why did this look so familiar? Oh, no. Blood on the wall? It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of here. I had to get out of there. That man died in a hallway. What was the blood doing there? I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg? I wondered. Wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. Rachel! I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. Journal. A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic, but exhausted. I don't know if I want to touch it. Collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp smelling dirt. Why wasn't it there in a shed? Huh. It's an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been used for in here? It's not the picture of a couple. It looked like it had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push it? It pressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. The mouse was dead. Looked like the cat had got to it. Lunch, right? Shelf was full of books of local history and hunting. It seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Yeah, I know. Rest in peace. The hell? Black and white photo. Looked like the man upstairs and his wife. I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. I'll take it. Slip the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. Dust on the floor now. Old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles amongst it. Wow, what a filthy house. Smells turning my stomach. It's been sitting here rotting. Man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead for a long time. Looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and they were mud caked all over my shoes. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. The bedroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning or him. Well, obviously, it's none of them if it's the house is dirty. There's a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. Oh. Switch to the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. Though it was taped, it seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guess it led to the kitchen. I gave the door a hard shove, and to my surprise, it cracked open. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smug to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Keycard, Ucker, last one, I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. The smell of the old dishes and moldy food was dizzying. So how is everybody doing tonight? It's Friday! Come on. Box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe if I had found a way out, I must have moved it, right? I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Interesting. Payday to boot. Oh yeah, I feel you on that one. I got paid today too. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Footprints in the dirt looked like more than one kind, and a lot of traffic. Whatever this place was, it was obviously used a lot. Just all over were marked the old map of town, the industrial area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Guy upstairs must have done this. But what was this What was his interest in the water tower? Some of the markings matched scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. Newspaper clippings from a local paper. There were about murders in the town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of a house. What the hell was this about? Maybe I should have looked around more. Try to find some kind of information. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first, and I needed to see what else was down here. Or down there. Stalkers. Work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun? I hated guns. I'm gonna take it. Tucked a small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Why did I take the gun? What do you get second guess yourself for? It was so dark down there. The air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? From the looks of it, an underground sewer under the house. Desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were stitched out in what? Eligible notes were written. A few documents. Heavy Rachel. None of it made sense at the time. None about Rachel or me was written there. Maybe I need to keep looking. Oh hey, the rape dungeon. That's what it is. Huh. Knew it. Looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in a photo I found. Was this the man's wife? Wondered, what would I have found if I had dug deeper? Some kind of homemade rack, slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? Smelling this from was old grease and rot. I know the smell of old grease and rot. Ugh. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. The slight fumes that emanated from the cans made me dizzy. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coated at the bottom. Something wet. That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house there and these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house or did somebody bring me? Hey, what's up, Crack? Playing Age of Empires, but I'm here. Alright, dude. Thanks for coming by, man. I'm surprised you didn't stream it. Huh. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. Let's go walk right over it, though. There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Sure. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. The fuck was that? Anybody catch that? Skeleton in the it's the wall. A rope I found would let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Yeah. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. Bunch of old newspapers we pasted together. The message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out! Danger due to cave-in. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there. Ooh, ominous music. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least, I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used recently. Jeez, look at the detective guy. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. It was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was some grass smeared within it. Odd. There was similar dirt on my own shoes. Could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? Kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it makes me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. No, we're not touching that. Still had the old gun, the old handgun. I wasn't sure what good a knife would have been. Yeah, we don't want to touch that. An exposed ventilation shaft. Maybe someone crawled through there, but it was so high up. That must have been a sore landing. My leg ached just thinking about it. That is interesting. And his leg hurts too. The fuck? What the fuck was that? It's like was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain that putrid water. Ew. Dirty, stinky poo-poo water. What's up here? Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Take the videotape? I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I did not want to keep digging through this mess. Alright, that's our exit there. Door's locked. Must be a musty smell from inside. Wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how to work it. How it worked. Though the dust, I could see fingerprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in these sewers. Yes. Okay. Thought I could turn this water valve to shut it off. Still active. Not anymore. Alright, we gotta turn this one off. Keep going. There we go. Alright. Bingo. Oh, but I got that door! Looked like the water drained out of that crate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Pocketed the small key, but it was so odd-shaped, I had no idea what it might have opened. Ah, son of a bitch. Safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was this facility? Faded paper was yellow and dusty, but there it had obviously been wiped off recently. Door was locked. I could see a faint light within. My payday already gone. You done spent the check, man. He made a song out of that. It's a pretty good little song. Found another dead body. A sewer worker. He was a mess, but he looked like he'd been stabbed. I could see a key ring that had fallen out of his pocket. Key ring. Worked up the nerve to snatch the key ring away and put it in my own pocket. It's feeling even worse. It's feeling even more sick from when seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. I'm in it right now. Work dumb today. Well, we all have a dumb day at work. There's a security camera in the room. Must have been a way to see what had happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful. Couldn't help but wonder if someone was watching me from the other side. Alto here. Keyring. Do I go back? Go back. Work's always dumb. I used the keyring to unlock the door. Oh, sweet. Just gotta return some videotapes. I'll be right back. Shelf full of security tapes are strictly organized. Though covered in dust, looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. I wondered what was on the tape and why it was thrown out. It's a dusty VCR on a security desk. I wondered what was on the VHS. Yes, let's do that. Ow, my ears! Jesus. I didn't get to go in this room before, so... Oh no, the videotape showed the man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched. Looked like somebody had tampered with it. Looked like there could have been two men. Couldn't stand to watch that video again. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. I must have been finally getting out of that strange facility, but I wondered, did that key I found on the sewer worker open anything else? Whoever used it must have gotten past the flooded room. Key ring for something else. Oh crap. Dead body. I hate doing this. I wonder if it'll let me go back. There was a room we couldn't get into before. I get lost in this place. Tried a bunch of keys in the key ring I had found in the sewer work, and one of them seemed to fit. Faded receipt was half tampered, half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what to use it. Could be what use it could be, but I keep the receipt. Sure. Neatly folded the soiled receipt. Okay. Entire room was messy. walls littered with dozens of old, faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies have been found in the ravines, in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. Huh. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted back up to those tunnels. It's raining so bad here. Walmart's power keeps going in and out. Hey! Time to snatch and run. It says killer on the paper. Sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? Collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. It doesn't seem like much of a place for drinking. What was the point? I think there's a lesson to be learned out of this in the end. I'm not gonna explain it now. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Fucking shit, man, I tell you. What a spook. Hey, what's up, Tickets? How you doing, my dude? You're fucking fancy. You know you jumped, don't lie. Clever, but why go through all the trouble? I cursed the weight of the gun as I hobbled up the ladder. Would I really need it? Or was there some other reason for waiting to carry it around? Thought of that videotape still haunted me. Who was in that? Didn't want to be seen. Was it the same person that hid all those newspaper clippings away in a locked room? I could go no further up on the ladder, and fumbling the latch above me, finally found my escape. The stench of that sewer finally abated, and I could smell old, damp pine trees. Downloading the Outer Worlds. Oh yeah, dude. I was just checking out another trailer for that a little while ago. It seems interesting. Seems like it could be fun, but then again, I don't know. I have been fooled before. What's that? Is the eyes in the background? Spooky door. An old ladder climbing up to an ancient water tower. Ancient? The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. You extend it, sure. Popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Fucking bats, man. Shit. Claw marks. It's a patch of smeared dirt and grass. There was a beat-up old wallet. Thought it was mine. Wallet was missing its contents, including any cards or ID. It was worn, but light. It made carrying a gun around seem more awkward. Where were my driver's license? Where were my driver's license and credit card? Bitch, they fucking stole it, man. Shit. Put this there, or was somebody else carrying it? Well, really, I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. It looks alright, so let's see. Looks alright. Some of the devs worked on. Yeah, I saw the Fallout thing on it too. Looks like Fallout in space vibes. You can play it for $1 via Microsoft Xbox PC Game Pass. You know, I heard somebody talk about that with another game. Was it that one or was it Modern Warfare? I think it was Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. Duty. It was getting cool up there, and I shivered with an uneasy sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? Yeah, I don't have Xbox, buddy. I had the only Xbox system I ever bought was like the 360, and yeah. Sadly enough, only what when I worked at Toys R Us, it was our last truck that we had gotten in, and we gotten 2 boxes of the video game console, which was they'd be Xbox or yeah Xbox One, and here's the thing, 2 boxes they stayed in there, right? I went once the truck was done, came out, stocking the shelves and stuff, and the next thing you know, tried a little key. I had fished out in the murky waters. Fit and then open the rusty door. Huh. Sure enough, I went back there. No, the guy who was in charge for back of house, he came out with 1 box, and I said, "Hey, where's the other box?" And he's like, he gave me like this odd look, and he's like, "What other box?" And I'm like, "Dude, it was 2 boxes back there. Where's the other box?" He's like, "I don't know. We found 1." I'm like, "Dude, you unloaded the truck. You saw 2 boxes in." I was like, "You fucking stole it? You stole it, huh? You stole it. You fucking stole it." There's I was more sure it was his buddy that stole it. I don't either. But yeah, that could have been a chance to sneak away with an Xbox. You know, get my hands dirty. I mean, the place is closing down anyway. Well, who's gonna buy an Xbox at like full price? Xbox One. Nobody. The wind picked up a bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. What is this? True that. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. Quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. Goddamn stick. Old mat encased in the glass hung against the wall. The train routes connected to the old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found on the tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. The old train was ripped open, hanging from a shred of metal, as well as the broken fence was a dark stained patch of cloth. Looked synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train shell I could see a few faint impacts like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks? Was somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found, as I thought. Oh shit. Yep, touched the murder weapon. There you go. It was getting colder out there and I had to keep moving. Ticket booth that looked fairly ruined. Inside the ticket booth window were sheets of paper and... Wait! What were these? Train receipts? Thought the receipt I had picked up might match these, but of course not. The station had been closed for years. The ticket must have been for the new station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresher looking paper covered in tiny notes, scribblings, and diagrams. Hey, trophy earned. Escape route. Alright. Looked like someone had been leafing through the old ledgers, looking for something. A name, perhaps? Creepy door sound. Ooh. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in these tunnels underneath the man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths through the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. Gave me goosebumps. Almost wish I'd paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest. Oh, hey. Go through the bushes. How about that? Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. Brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a... what is it? Dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. Yeah. What the fuck was that? There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone out here in these woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? A not so fresh building. You talk like my older brother. uh, two folding camp chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There was a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was out here left this place in a hurry, but why? The cheap dome tent slept with two people. What? Shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, two backpacks, and a cooler. Felt like it kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. Yeah, let's get lost. What is it? Don't something? Sounds the same as the first I've seen. This might have been an exit to the other side of the woods. Well, I'm not ready to leave yet. So, Grammy Seek had a small patch and it looked almost clean. There wasn't much of a way of clean water there, but the sink did work. Don't do drugs, probably put there by roving gangs of dare hooligans. Fucking dare. Oh my god, that's old school. A musty wooden plank plopped up in the stove. It didn't really seem useful. I take it? Yeah, I'll take it. Sure why, but I took the plank. Washroom's still was filthy and disgusting. It's like Smeagol's hideout. Nice hobbits. Okay, campfire. I think this is the other one. Everyone needs to carry a good plank of wood. Yeah, like that one kid in Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I think he got splinters from it, though. What's this? There's some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there, too. Read it? Inside the cheap dollar store notebook, Dollar Tree, was a page after one page after one page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names: Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel? Rachel! Rachel! Name was the last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl Heather Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Let's hope the splinters were in the nether regions. Who are all these names? I could only think about how much I needed to get home to make sure Rachel was okay. She's fine. I mean, you know, she wanted you to look for her. She, you know, probably would have already found her. The worn picnic table stood within a circle of trees, like an altar. It was covered in faint markings and carvings from who I assumed were previous campers and hikers. She's dead as hell. Time to get a new girl. We don't know that yet. The plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge. But I wasn't sure if it would hold. Yes. Yeah. That looked like it sunk away. Oh my god. Oh my god! What is it? Two bodies, two young women were half dug into a hasty, shallow grave beneath the trees. The younger one looking, the younger looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserved better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? No! I thought of touching those poor girls almost made me sick. I felt everything right where... I left everything right where it was. The police could sort it out. Shit. Nah, let's just don't touch it. I mean, I already kind of came to the conclusion of. Did you cross back over the shore? Sure. Yes, I did. I've actually played this. There's different endings for the game, so I only got the one ending. So, get your evidence all over this crime scene. Write some of the names in the notes of the table surface. Tron. Fucking Tron. Phil, Harry, Daniel, David, Ginny. Seems like a table had seen a lot better days. That's some of it is. Okay. Alright. Get. What's up, Shin Man? How you doing? Thanks for coming by. Let's go to this one, right? Yeah. Already getting lost. Gotta find that freaking bench. Not the bench, the other end of the sign. Not this one. Okay. This one. This one. Okay. Trying to backtrack. Sorry. I think it's this one. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Well, yeah. Forest started to thin out a bit, and through the trees, I could make out parts of the town beyond, and the first hints of light. The mysteries of that force were beyond me, behind me, but I could still feel them on my neck like a warm breath. Those girls I found. Someone had taken them from their campsite and had murdered them. Was it the same person who had left that odd notebook? I was even more eager to get somewhere safe and to find a way to reach Rachel. Yeah, because, you know, she's safe. It reminds me of that movie. Shit, what was it called? It was an old one, and they made a remake of it. Uh, Something. And the guy would call, and they'd be like, "Did you check the children?" And the babysitter's like, "Huh?" And then he'd hang up, and he'd keep calling her and taunting her. And then when she finally decided to, like, "Alright, I gotta go check these kids," they were already mangled. And she was gonna be next. Some fucked up shit. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all these years. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was a remake of that one. The remake sucked. You gotta see the original. Original was better. It's actually kind of creepy. Like stalker creepy. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. What is it? Through the gate. I found the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this flashlight his? Was this flashlight his? Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet, and now this. The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. I wish I could remember. Why was all my stuff missing? It's really not looking good for this guy. It really isn't. About to get murdered by the wind. Ooh. Hello? Hello? Is anybody here? Do you have TiVo? Does anybody still use TiVo? One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off from the door. It was locked shut. Electric. Danger. Closed for repairs. Alright. So I need to turn the machines on. TiVo. Screw you guys. I'm watching TiVo. Friggin' robot chicken. Jesus. The metal was starting to wear out the cobwebs. Okay. Door's locked tight. Connected to the power? Sure. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellow clippings of newspaper, cartoons, and notes. There was notes to and from the guys that work here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive, despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. Our old break table. Layer of dust and grime had made seem this sting more. Some beer bottles. Meh. They give some advice. Do not drink. It's toxic. A power panel. Turn it on. Okay. Give it the old second try. Alright. Open locker was stuffed with dirty clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. Woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened. Rusty looking slot inside. Alright. Recently boarded up. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached. And I recall the last time Norman, Rachel, and I had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. Oh, really? You sure it wasn't Norman? Utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. It's a clawed hammer. Yeah. Took the hammer. Noticed it wasn't dirty. Blip, 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 blop. Clip, clip, blop. It was a complete miss. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Hammer time! Oh, yeah. Slipped the key card into my pocket. Stealing shit. Put my fingerprints on everything. I just want them to know it was me. I mean, you know, somebody trying to pin it on me. Alright, looks like we got it running. You hear the sound. Struck with the hammer, the old wooden boards came apart easily. After I had removed the planks, I left the hammer under the door. On the door, I'm sorry. Let's see, this was my locker. There in the factory. It stunk of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. There was a mess of empty bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol in his place. Hey, Tablet. I can't. I don't know if I can pronounce your name right. What's up, dude? How you doing? This is nothing bad memories. All right, let's go downstairs. We're almost through this game. Keycard I found seemed to would pass through the reader. Use it, yes. So the key card right through. Never mind, man. Saw you were streaming. Wanted to join the party. Yeah, that's cool, dude. What's this? I don't think I've been in this room. There's some kind of ventilation hatch here. Looked like it could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see any option. Jump. Man, my leg hurt. Like hell. Oh shit. Crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been stretched out heavily and it was hard to make it out. Did I try to read Sure. Once the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was, me too. Just don't. Drinking. Need. Norman. Who was Norman writing to? What was Norman going on about? Stepped out of the factory, glad to get rid of the smell. The memories I couldn't stop thinking about. That room with the bottles in it. Is that guard I felt outside really drinking up there? What happened about Norman? Maybe Norman is writing to you, the Blair. So deep, man. I couldn't tell if I was looked around. I was forgetting the road of beginnings. Maybe Norman could help. His store wasn't that far from the turnoff to the factory, if I remembered correctly. Ah, shit. It's a fucking room I was supposed to go to at the bottom. I don't know. I didn't miss anything important. Somebody in there? Hello? Boo. The trash man. Garbage bin was disgusting, mess of rotten food and slick garbage bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Yeah, I'll take it back. Why not? Cleaned the card off as best as I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed that I found my credit card and now this. Stuck the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Somebody steal this from me? I wondered why they would have stashed it there. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Hey. Love the nightlife. Head into Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of a television. The hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on a rack. That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing here? Or there? A speck of something dark and wet stained one of the sleeves. Yeah. Inside the cabinet was a small an impressive collection of hunting rifles, handguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal there. Here. One of the slots in the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. I'm not going to put it back. I'm just going to keep it. Though it weighed on me, I had a hard time parting with the weapon just then. That is an option for a reason. Hello? Was this? Looked like a pull string hung from the ceiling. I wonder where it led. Pull string. Heaved the chain, a single tug, and a single folding ladder to the attic popped down. Hey. Oh no. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker, and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. And his hand on his dick and everything. And there was a porno playing in the background. It was just very sick. It kept repeating. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he had been shot trying to get up. His eyes were wide with shock, though they were already drying. Norman, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? Norman, maybe you deserved better. You probably did. Close his eyes? Sorry, Norman. But at the moment, I was too confused to worry about you. I need to find Rachel to find some answers. Vaguely reminds me of Maniac Mansion. Huh. Woman confirmed for crossdresser. Dude, oh my god, dude. The stuff you come up with. Ah, oh, jeez. The TV still flickered suddenly. The channel couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. You couldn't make out. You remember, like back in the 90s, you had one of those channels. For us, it was like channel 52. It was the porno channel. You had to call in for the station, the cable company, to get it, to unlock it or whatever. But when you go to it, you could hear the noise of the video being played, but it had that swiggliness to it, and every once in a while during the swiggliness it'll stay still and you could see a picture of what's going on, maybe catch a boob or two. Anybody remember that? I remember that. Those were good days. That opening scene in American Pie. Yeah, dude, exactly that, dude. That shit is real. Norman's a cross-dresser, oh my god. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Opened the old cardboard box and wasn't entirely surprised by what I saw. There were more of Rachel's things. More of my wife's clothes. Photos, shoes, even that old radio I gave her. Why, Rachel? What were you doing here with Norman? Hello? Cue the Seinfeld theme. Just couldn't believe it. My head ached with everything that was running through it. Guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups there, still there in the wood. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least, I didn't remember ever doing so. Kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. Smelled fresh? Didn't dig through that mess, did I? Sure you did. Hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and spit fighting. Let's take out containers of food scraps. Looked like Norman was eating for 2. Of course he was. He was banging your wife, probably. If he wasn't a cross-dresser, that is. Check this door. How carefully did he ship through that filth to actually find that pin? Disgusting. Yeah. What if it were like a garbage bag of like dirty diapers? I don't think you could do it. Use the hairpin pick to lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. Yeah, more evidence. Why not? General store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. Stop by after work. Hey, let me take you to the back. We got all the good stuff back here. Bang, bang, bang. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wonder if anyone had robbed this place before killing Norman upstairs. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. I can only think of poor Norman upstairs. Poor Norman. Norman Bates. Was that his last name? The cross-dresser. Hey, there you go, dude. Cross-dresser. Norman Bates. Bam. Psycho. Here you go. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape than of all the postcards. That seemed to be the most popular. There were only just a few. The night continued to take horrible turn after horrible turn. It had been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, but to find him like that, as I thought of him still lying on the floor back there, the gun I carried seemed ever present. Seeing that dusty box of those old clothes was a shock. How long had they been there? And what was Rachel doing at Norman's place? I felt I had only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. It's locked. Wasn't the right gate. Hey, TV. It was locked tight, so I had to wait home. Okay, let's try this door, I guess, right here. Neighborhood's local post box. A letter was stuck out as if someone had pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but hey, let's break the law. Envelope was addressed to Norma, and there was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out, away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so don't you think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I fucking knew it. I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing, my heart pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. There are a lot of doors. Oh my god. Alright. The door led behind me. Had to find my house. Oh, okay. Okay. Gate was locked tight. This wasn't the house. Wrong gate. It was like, hey, what's up, Pollywolf? How you doing? We're nearing the ending of this game. So far, this guy's been finding clues that somebody killed somebody. A lot of people, actually. And he just keeps putting his fingerprints on everything. I had entered my own backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. Good eating juice a burger, getting a burger. I had me a spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A earlier for lunch. It was delicious despite the rain. I was expecting, but also afraid. Let's see. More blood. I hope this isn't Chris's blood. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. More blood. It's right there. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and drained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday? Or some time before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. It's ominous music. Door to the basement. It was locked. Where had I put the damned key? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Ripped open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling our credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? This didn't make any sense. Front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was there. Of course. Coming to get you, Barbara. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. I found the last missing piece from my wallet, the old photo of Rachel, and I stared back at me. It reminded me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Placed the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Maybe I had dropped it there. Our television. I purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterwards, but by then it was too late. I've been in that situation. Not with a TV though. Rachel was pretty angry about it, I realized. hallway mirror had been smashed into pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. A sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps was stuck, but I hadn't gotten around to fixing it yet. Also, it was charming. Over an unpaid television. Unlucky enough to get this house. It's a practical tiles, but it's part of what made the house home. Computer? My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top of the drawer of my desk. Pocketed the key. The laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. Books were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in the house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. My wife's. Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was inside it. Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days' worth of clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt I had found. Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster? Well, you're a raging alcoholic. That's for sure. That is correct. Did I go in here? Yeah, I think I went in here. Let's see. Was stuck. There was an old-fashioned keyhole. Unlock the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. Couldn't even remember the last Christmas. Garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty key here. A dirty old key here. Took the small key and remember what it unlocked. Old clothes too. Obviously had thrown it out yet. We had way too much junk. I had put it up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I had something heavy enough. Alright. Let's go back upstairs. Grimy key I found in the basement unlocked the door. Looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? was an old crowbar on the floor. Listen to heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. By the looks of it, the crowbar had broken a few things. You can see the bloodstains too. Or were they paint stains? Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? The heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed it large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down here? Is she okay? It's the spookiest thing I heard all night. Yeah, I bet. Don't look. Oh god, look at the blood. Hey, jellyfish. A filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful, and it made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find Rachel? Well guys, did we? Did we find Rachel? Did we find Rachel? Is she alive or is she dead? This guy would have had no problem searching that filthy Silent Hill toilet. Exactly. Oh no, please. Amongst the stained fabric and rotting odor, my wife's body lay crumpled in a heap. A single bloody wound had ripped open her chest, but carefully the details were obscured by blood and dirt. I could tell she had been shot, and the thought of the handgun I had taken made me reek. So this was the feeling in the pit of my stomach, the tingling that brought me back. I had finally come home, and my wife was dead. I thought about all I had seen, and wondered if any of it could have helped me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away from the shaking legs. I stepped away, shaking legs, and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Maybe I could use some of Rachel's traveling books and go someplace. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Neither was dropped with stuff or anybody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe something stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? There. That was decided. This is the old photo of the that man, that other man, and his wife, I assumed. I found it in that house. I recall that those faded remains I had found deep underneath his house. What had done there? Well, what did I think? Is that man involved in this whole mess somehow?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but the poor old bastard was good and dead. He was a victim, not a criminal. But who killed him? I could see my face grow pale and weak. I didn't want to bear to look again. I was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. A keycard I found in a factory. The one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to be me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Must have been him. He must have been using the old locker room. Mind about him. Slowly run out of power. I think I might have supposed to say no right there. Just the letter I had taken from the post box. Rachel, were you really having an affair with Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed concerned. She almost seemed worried about what Norman might do. Did he do that to Rachel? Norman may have betrayed me, but I didn't think he was capable of that. I hated him. I hated him so much, but I couldn't blame him for what happened to my wife. Notes and taken from the forest. But the names that are written down. Yada 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 yada. These poor girls. Are they victims of the same person who killed Rachel? I wonder what happened to the other names on that list, or the ones stretched out on the desk in those wet tunnels. Man in that house. Is he responsible? When I woke up, I found him dead already. Old office safe is on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. It used the digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I had left it somewhere. Yeah, you left it somewhere. Seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Well, stuff did, see. No more dinners here. No more chit-chat over breakfast, at least for us. If I wanted to end it, I could do it. I could do it with that gun. Did I pick it up again? It was like carrying an anvil, but I wouldn't let it go. Not again. But I stood there. I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. Okay, gotta find the password. Password. It's not in here. Yeah, no one to get angry with these stupid things like buying this TV. God damn it. She loved this part of the house. The tub. Of course. I found some notes and loose papers in a drawer where I found the key. There was a yellow sticky note with an 8-digit number. Did I take it? Yes. Look at the safe. Is there anything more to find on his desk? Alright. Got the code. We got the code. Code I found should have let me access the safe. The code worked. I pulled open a small safe door and peered inside. There was a photo in there of Rachel and I. We had first moved into town. In it, we were smiling outside the front of the house, which looked like a real mess. We looked happy, though. Odd, I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. I found the front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was a good time as any to see what was inside. Did I open the envelope and read what was inside? Oh yeah, we got to. Tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper inside. On it was a letter written in hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me to, well, maybe you can. That isn't meant to be an excuse, but, well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream, a quiet place to get established, to live out our lives, and to be together. But you know as well as I do that things quickly changed. Your drinking was one thing. But as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all. But it took all this to make you realize. See, man, she's a quitter, man. She gave up on this dude like in a snap. She should have helped him out. Some people need help through, tough times. In the end, though, you may never forgive me for this. You may never forgive yourself, but this is probably for the best. You'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry it had to happen this way, Rachel. I sat down at the table and stared at the gun in my hand. It didn't seem so heavy this time. If I wanted to, I could use the gun to finally end this. The question was, did I think I deserved it? Did I? Was this my fault? Did I deserve to die? You know what, buddy? The evidence is pretty clear. Yeah, I think you do deserve to die. Maybe not this way, but hey, living in this town hadn't been easy. The plan had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I know it was a final act of a long-lasting horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. I wasn't sure that what had happened to that other man I had found in the house. He seemed to me more a victim, but what was his role in all this? After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but I knew I had been to that force and even Norman's place. Well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant. But at least I had discovered my things, hopefully. I thought that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all of this. Even more troubling were those poor girls I had found in those terrible woods. Half hidden in a shallow grave, their secret death seemed like the ultimate defiling. If I hadn't found them, would anyone have done so? Would they have been missed? I vaguely recalled the desk I had seen in those tunnels, the names etched there. Someone had killed those girls. Was it that man? It was clear, at least, that Norman had been going back to the old plant. Maybe he was the one who had boarded up that locker door. Who had been drinking up there in that secret hiding place. It is fucker deny it. So had he killed that guard then? He must have. Maybe he was found out, or the guard had caught him on patrol. Damn it, Norman, why? After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, what were you and Rachel up to? It was obvious things were more complicated than I had ever imagined. How long had you been going behind my back? More importantly, why, Norman? whoever had killed Rachel had probably gone after you too. Maybe they knew about what you were up to. I would never know peace, Norman, but despite your transgressions, a part of me really did hope that you would. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now, our house used to be so living, so lively, so warm. But coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought I had up to that point was suddenly a possibility, but nothing could have prepared me. My wife, dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery to me, one that would haunt me forever, unless I did something about it. For what solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can he be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might even know why. I may never know why. I checked the gun again. It still had a few bullets left. I felt surprisingly calm as I sat there with it. I could feel its weight, and perhaps it was there. Perhaps it was that sense, that presence, that allowed me to understand what had to be. Rachel was dead, and there was nothing I can do about it. Eraser. The trophy earned what's called Eraser. Feeling comfy with the gun, American as fuck. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Dylan? You just caught the ending, dude. Wow. Yeah. I mean, there's different endings. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. I came back right at the end. Yep. Well, that's it. The original ending I had gotten was the getaway, which is you know, I didn't really sought blame to myself on it, and I just wound up leaving. um, there's another ending where if I would have picked up the knife and went into the bathroom at home, I would have committed murder, suicide with the knife instead of a gun. So, yeah, and the other guy that he kept talking about, I would assume either he was a friendly guy who, I guess, I don't know, maybe helped sell us the house, or maybe he was secretly a killer, and I stumbled upon finding a killer, killed him, but along the process killed the wife and best friend. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your night. We'll stream it tonight as well. So thanks for coming out, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming. Uh, until then.